Hello, Internet. Garrett here from the Angry Chicken Hearthstone podcast. I have a game that I want to share with you all. This is a game I just played on Monday, June 22nd, in case you're curious what Battlegrounds patch I am on. This is after the nerf to some of the very popular strategies, like the Soralisk strat, which was a bit of a nerf to Hooktusk, even though at the time of recording this, Hooktusk is still the best hero in the game. But the reason I am sharing this game with you all is because I have been getting a lot of questions from folks that aren't doing too well in Battlegrounds at the moment, and they want to know, when do you not tavern tier up kind of as fast as you usually would do? And by that I mean, typically, unless you're playing heroes like Eudora or Rafam that have a really obvious upside to not going up to Tavern Tier 2 on turn 2, you tend to go to Tier 2 on turn 2, Tier 3 on turn 5, and Tier 4 on turn 7. These are the turns that you have just the perfect amount of gold to buy a minion and tavern up in the same turn. That's kind of the beginner's guide to Battlegrounds. If you want to start doing a little bit better, that's when you tier up on average. I'm talking generally here. Of course, there's times where you wouldn't do that. But I think this game is a really good example of when you should not tavern tier up. And basically what happened was, as I am here, about to draft the Soralisk, it looked too sexy. I got the Soralisk, I got the Scallywag, I even got a cannon. Now, I'm not the biggest cannon fan in the world. I think it's actually pretty overrated, and I think there's a little bit too much of an emphasis being put on the cannon right now. But I got a Soralisk, I got a Scallywag. Scallywag synergizes really well with the cannon early game. So I just thought to myself, yeah, why not? I feel like I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth if I don't freeze that cannon, buff the Soralisk this turn. Let's go. Let's do it. And what really ended up happening, and we're going to see here in a minute, is that I really locked myself in to a low power early to mid game strategy, because I was trying to work around this cannon too much. And this doubles as a really good example of why I think cannon is overrated and can be quite a trap minion to try and chase a comp with. And so, got lucky, got another Soralisk, figured, why not? Let's use our free reroll. And I decided to freeze here because I see the 2/3 Harvest Golem. I'm still Tavern Tier 2. It's gonna, now I'm getting double the buffs worth on my 2 Soralisks here. So I go ahead and freeze. And thinking to myself, all right, we're going against Rafam. Hover over him, see that he's pirates. Think to myself, let's maybe move that Scallywag over so we don't give Rafam another free pirate to synergize with. Of course, then, as this ticked down, I did think to myself, well, he's Rafam. He probably had 7 minions on board on turn 3, so it probably doesn't matter what my attack order is, because he's definitely going to attack first, and most likely kill something. So at the end, really didn't matter. But as we're about to see, Bob's going to give us some words of advice. This is going to flip over, and yeah, this isn't going to end well. There is no universe where this goes well. However, it goes particularly poor as his cannon snipes mine right out the gate. And there we have it. This kind of begins the downturn of this game. So think to myself, all right, I'm going to shake it off. It's turn 5. Let's buy a minion. Let's tavern up. Oh my goodness, I'm the luckiest man alive. There's a 3rd Soralisk. So here we go up against Eudora, who already has a parrot and a freaking robo egg. So things once again aren't going to go great. At least our cannon doesn't get sniped. Still didn't go great as our Harvest Golem didn't actually die, which means we didn't get as many attacks on our cannon as we could have. And the token from our Harvest Golem doesn't take out the wolf, so we still end up taking an extra bit of damage on this turn. And I think at this point, we start going up against some pretty heavy hitters. And you know, normally I get a triple. I would love to freeze it and wait to Tavern tier up, make the golden, play it, and discover higher tier minions. But even if I was going to level at the regular speed here, which so far I have been doing, we don't want to do that. I opt for the gold grubber here. Well, if for no other reason than I have a single golden on board, and I've had a lot of luck going with gold grubber. Shout out to Slissa for teaching me the way, showing me the light in regards to gold grubber. This card is pretty bananas right now and can really tie together even the most random comps. And so at this point in the game, I think to myself that I kind of realize I'm drafting around the cannon too much. And I think, you know, it's probably more important that I get swings out of my 9/7 and my Divine Shield minion that can reset off of the Harvest Golem before anything else. Like, cannon be damned. Now, it's still not going to be the prettiest round in the world, but I do think I managed to get away with taking a little less damage this game because of, or this round because of not playing around the cannon. And so as you see, it doesn't go too bad. Only 2 minions left on board. That could have gone a lot worse, and it's because I decided to just stop drafting around the cannon. Here we arrive on turn 7. So far, I have leveled up at the normal speed, and this is typically where I would go to Tavern Tier 4. However, I am already on 18 health. I just got smacked by Finley, and we are once again going against Rafam sooner than I definitely would have liked. I know he's going to cream me. Look at that health total. I grab an Infested Wolf just to keep growing the Sarlisk. Obviously get the Metal Tooth Leaper because I just need more attack value on that Divine Shield Mac. Decide, as much as I would like more Death Rattles, probably going to get a little more mileage out of pumping up my Divine Shield. And so I decided to freeze there. Again, I'm only Tavern Tier 3 at this point. I should be... Now, this is where I'm no longer taverning up. I know I'm going to take some damage from a FOM. I'm already at 18 life. I don't want to take more damage than I need to. So as much as I would have liked to have already been at Tier 4, this is where I go into just survival mode. All I want to do is not get 8th place, 7th place. I want to get as close to 4th place as I possibly can. And yeah, this is why Cannon gets completely abandoned. And we're just not going to level and do our best to survive. And now we can go up to Tier 4. It's only 1 turn late, but if you go look at win rates on a site like HS Replay, for most of the heroes, just taverning up a tier later than average has a significantly less likely chance of getting first place. It's kind of wild. Next time you're on HS Replay, take a look. Again, it may seem subtle, but being just a single turn behind on taverning up can make a major impact on your overall draft and your chances to win. So we're going to be very behind the rest of the lobby as they move up into Tavern Tier 5. This is where the particularly strong heroes are most likely going to be accelerating into Tier 5, possibly even Tier 6, depending on how well things are going for them. And if you look at the life totals on the top 2, on Finley and Rafam there, things are going quite well for them. And now here, I couldn't decide if I wanted to cycle another Death Rattle or buy the 3/3 that sells for 3 to have a better next turn. But I figured, again, I feel pretty on the ropes. I feel pretty underpowered, so I opt for just another Death Rattle just to get my Sorlisk a little bit bigger. Now, it is gold. It is a golden Sorlisk, and that's why I'm kind of leaning towards it. If that was still a standard non-golden Sorlisk, I probably would have opted for the Pirate and gone for an economy play, because I did start to feel a little secure here. But going against Millhouse, he's been doing really well. He's in the top 3. Again, I kind of opt for as many stats as I can possibly eke out. Also, around this time, I'm starting to question my gold grubber play because I only have 1 golden. It is only growing off of the Sorlisk. There is not a single other golden in my comp, and I have no pairs on board, no pairs in hand. I'm kind of sweating things. Also, it really hurt not to freeze that macaw there, but we are far too late in the game at this point to even consider a macaw comp. So I got a little lucky here in that I attacked first, so we took care of that pesky taunt pirate that attacks again if it survives damage. But then I immediately get pretty unlucky in that the Divine Shield gets smacked off my Deflecto bot and it dies before any mechs spawn. But we have enough stats to get through. This is my boy, Gold Grubber, starting to come through and just tie my not so great composition together. It's kind of carrying me from round to round. This is where I once again start sweating. I'm up against Finley. I'm looking at my hodgepodge board of, like, I guess my comp is Death Rattle, but this isn't the kind of, when you say Death Rattle comp, this is not what you think of. This is not what comes to mind. This is an absolute random hodgepodge. This is a mess of a draft. I'm still not feeling great. I was even considering that what's the 2/2 that buffs? I always forget what the hell it's called. And of course I'm casting from a replay here, so I can't mouse over it. So I'm just rolling here. I was really hoping that I could triple that Harvest Golem and grow my Gold Grubber even further. Didn't happen. I do end up finding a pair of the Screwjank, and I realize that I can get just a little more stats if I cycle the Harvest Golem, which has a Death Rattle, so it buffs my Soralisk, and I can +4/+4 my Deflecto bot in the matter of across this entire turn by juggling those scavengers. So again, like, I'm feeling okay. I liked that turn. I felt like I got big enough, and our Gold Grubber is going to start getting up into the double digits now. I think we can make it. Also, my Deflecto bot now has 8 health. I'm feeling a lot better about that. You think back to the other turns that haven't been going so hot is because the Deflecto bot has been dying before we get to reset the Divine Shield. And once again, it dies once again before getting the the reset. But it doesn't matter. We have so overstated Finley's board here that this is where this game starts to course correct. We just dealt 15 to the first place player, and we're sitting down second to last, well, of who's still in the lobby. And now, once again, I think to myself, damn it, I'm staring down an Edwin. Why am I so unlucky? Why can't put me up against Reno? You know, I was going to say put me up against a Ghost, but there's even numbers of players still in the lobby, so that wasn't going to happen. So now I'm just thinking to myself, all right, I got a pair of Screwjank Clunkers. Can I find the triple? There it is. Finally, a stroke of luck. It's been a while. The first lucky thing that happened to us was finding a Golden Soralisk. So I'm going to go for maximum stat play here again and sell a Death Rattle just so I can get another +2/+2. And thought about the Morazon for a hot second, and then I thought to myself, no, let's just deploy the Shredder. Let's get another buff on our Soralisk. And this is where I start to kind of go for the luck plays. Because again, I still don't feel super powerful at this point in the game. And so I'm just making picks. I am drafting for what gives me the most outs. And that's what Sneed Shredder did in that scenario. Gave me the most stats, and the Death Rattle on it is always a chance to drop something. Has a chance to drop another mech that might reset the Divine Shield on my Deflecto bot, or it might just drop something big, something threatening that helps me win the round. Let's see how this pays off as we go into yet another first place hero in this lobby. It's been a total slog for me at this point. I was sweating it, by the way, because I moused over him and saw that he was Murlocs. And if you listen to me on the Angry Chicken, you know I am so completely over Murloc comps in Battlegrounds. I can't stand it. But this is one of those rare occasions where I go up against a Murloc draft that has Bran, and they're not completely busted levels of powerful. And yet, you can see how close that was. It came down to a 2-1 off of my Shredder winning the round. But again, we're getting there. We're doing it. All right, cool. We survived long enough that we're starting to pick up an actual mech comp here. No one in this lobby was chasing mechs, and we got lucky with the buffs. But we still haven't found a robo egg. We didn't find any Anoia modules, but we have survived long enough to now we can start picking up the pieces that were missing from this comp. And this is why sometimes it's great to not level up as fast as you think that you should. Because I was in a position where I was supremely down on power, supremely down on stats compared to the rest of the board. And I just needed to survive. I was suddenly had my sights set on just get 4th place. And now I've survived long enough to actually cobble together a bit of a comp. This is still kind of a poor man's mech build. I would much rather that Anoia module go on a robo egg, but I just haven't found one. So, you know what? It's a harvest golem. It's good enough. Now I can put it all the way to the right. I don't have to sacrifice my second attack being from a weak harvest golem, and I can still guarantee the reset on my Deflecto bot because I put Divine Shield taunt on my harvest golem. Of course, then I re-roll and find the robo egg, and I think to myself, well, you know what? I still got this golden Soralisk. Why not? Why not grab the robo egg? I don't have too much invested in that harvest golem, and frankly, we find another golden. That 410 Screwjank can get the hell out of here. We're not married to it. We don't have to have it. It's, again, just a means to an end. And so now the pieces are starting to fall in place. Here is why Edwin's Murloc comp wasn't as strong as it could have been. Edwin has been fighting over a shared pool, a conflicted pool, a contested pool is the word I'm looking for here, of Murlocs with Reno. Now, they had Divine Shield, they had Wind Fury, so he clearly found himself some Megasaurs, but it wasn't enough. And the Reno with a board of Divine Shield Murlocs, something I am terrified of, isn't enough to beat my late leveling composition. Now I'm starting to think, ooh, I think I can go higher than 4, because now I'm in 2nd place. We have completely turned this game around at this point. I grab my robo egg, and I just start rolling. I'd love to find another Anoia module at this point. I'd love to triple my gold grubber. That would be massive. I end up picking up the microbot. It's another way to get attack value onto my mechano egg. I call them robo eggs. Sorry, everybody. I consider the Baron here for a second and realize, no, I still have... This isn't a Baron comp. I don't have consistent value death rattles. I have token spawning death rattles, which just aren't that great with Baron. I don't have the board space for it. And here I really can't decide. Do I want to keep my gold grubber? Do I want to get rid of my gold grubber? I've got 2 goldens at this point. Can I find a way around it? Is there a way I can not get rid of my gold grubber? I really like them now. Ever since Lissa recommended them on last week's episode of The Angry Chicken, I thought, I've just had so many good experiences with gold grubbers at this point. I really didn't want to get rid of that second one because it just gives me the scaling that my composition sorely lacks. It's hard to scale with mechs. You need to get lucky with the Metal Tooth Leapers. If you can find a Bran and you actually consistently hit Metal Tooth Leapers, that's great. But the chances of actually consistently doing that are slim to none. And so I really make the decision that I'm going to hold on to these gold grubbers for dear life, just so my comp has some serious scaling. Now this Millhouse does have a scary comp, but it doesn't look like the stats are quite there. This could go poorly. It kind of depends on where these last few attacks go. At this point, it's clear. There's no chance I'm going to win this one. However, I am not dead because it's a pirate comp. The only thing that survives is a scallywag. Only going to take 6 to the dome. Probably cannot understand how relieved I was at this point. And oh, I hit it. I find the golden gold grubber, which is also going to help buff itself. Sorry, this comp got a little masturbatory at this point. And this is where things they start to go well. I'm looking at Edwin's comp, remind myself, oh, he is Murloc. So I don't think I'm not going to hurt the Edwin by hate drafting the Tide Razor here. So eventually I decide... Actually, I can't remember what I decide here. I think I was torn mostly between the Gas Coiler or the Zap Slywick. Fairly certain I go with the Gas Coiler here. Let's see if I remember correctly. I do. Yeah. I am consistent with my own strategic decisions. I'm going to roll. Not really going to hit anything particularly exciting. I think I end up just cycling the death rattle on the kindly grandmother. Yep, that's exactly what I do. I'm going to drop this gas coiler, and the Sorreless is going to go up to a 29-27. I'm just going to spend my 2 gold to roll. Not even sure what I'm really looking for at this point. It'd be nice to pick up some pairs. I would love to get a golden Mechano Egg, but it's not in the cards right now. And there's no death rattles there. There's nothing for a pair. So I'm just going to let it ride, get a free roll next turn, and look how big this Gold Grubber is getting. And again, I cannot believe my luck in that the Edwin here has not found a Megasaur to buff his entire board with Poisonous and Divine Shield. Only one Poisonous Murloc at this point. And so we are just going to outstat this Edwin and brute force our way through another round of a lobby that I was fairly certain was going to be an 8th or a 7th place finish at one point. Still haven't gone up to tier 6 at this point. What was in my mind at this point in the game is that I'm not going up to tier 6 until I hit a ghost, and here I do. I hit the ghost. There's a Mechano Egg. I don't think I'm going to get much luckier than that, so it's time to hit tier 6, roll, and see if we can maybe get a golden gas coiler. That would be incredible. I'm looking at this board. I was even going to consider freezing if I saw a Megasaur, just to give the Edwin one less chance of drafting it. I'm not a big fan of hate drafting. I think it's a terrible strategy in most cases. However, we have a first place player in the lobby. We're down to the final 3 who has a very large board of Murlocs. If I see Megasaur at this point, I am buying it or I am freezing it. I am doing everything in my ability to make sure that this Edwin finds fewer Megasaurs than he wants. And now we're off to the Ghost Finley, who I hadn't seen in a while, so who the hell knows what he had at this point. I was a little worried that might even have a comp that could possibly end me. But it's a pirate comp, and it's not the worst. I have definitely seen worse pirate comps than this, but it is not good enough. We definitely have the stats here to burn through this Ghost and move on into the game. I'm assuming at this point that the game is just beat Edwin. It is time to beat Murlocs. I am fairly certain that Edwin's board is enough to take out the Millhouse. So as we beat through this Kel'Thuzad, let's take a look, and yeah, Millhouse is out. So it's down to me and Edwin, and we just get a gloriously lucky free roll into a golden Deflecto bot. Again, at this point, I'm thinking to myself, ooh, maybe we could get a golden gas coiler, really beef up our gold grubber, but we don't hit it. And I started to have a brain fart. I was looking at that Zap Slywick, like, maybe. And then I checked the ad, like, oh right, dummy, Murlocs. Snap pick that Gentle Megasaur and make sure he can't get it. And we end up getting a Zap Slywick for our troubles, just because I want to thin the board. I want as many chances. You know what my thought was Divine Shield. I was thinking anything I can add in here that helps me get through Divine Shields on Murlocs is, in my book, a good thing. And so I make a tough decision, and I'm still not sure if this was the right decision or not. I'm going to sell my golden Screwjank because its only purpose in life at this point is to buff my gold grubber. My gold grubber is 56. We're going in against Murlocs. If he has poisonous, it doesn't matter how big that gold grubber gets. And so I decide it's time to not be so precious about my golden minions and just go for anything that will help me get rid of Divine Shields. And now I can taste the victory at this point. I can see all of the times I've lost to poisonous Murlocs and complained about it on Twitter. All of it, it's come full circle. Justice is about to be done. I can smell the win as long as this poisonous doesn't somehow kill both of my big units, which is essentially impossible at this point because if it hits either the Deflecto or the Gold Grubber, it's gonna die. And so we're going to win this round, but we are not gonna win the lobby because Edwin just has too much damn health. His health is just too damn high. I'm gonna reduce his health by 50%, and we get to continue drafting. Pick up Kangor's Apprentice, continue rolling. Oh, it is time to get rid of my poor man's Mechano Egg with the Harvest Golem, because I just found another Annoyal module. We don't need it. We can get rid of that Harvest Golem. I'm also considering the swipe here. I was running Deck Tracker, which I'm not showing at the moment. I was double checking his board and found out that, yeah, that the swipe, the 6 damage swipe isn't going to kill a damn thing. So I decided to just keep rolling, see what other value I can pick up. I'm going to be selling something here, so I roll again because I can always sell and get some gold back, because the Harvest Golem's going bye-bye. The Harvest Golem, Godspeed, sir. You served your purpose. You got us so much further into this game than I thought was going to happen. And as much as I wanted to go for a golden Mechano Egg, I figured he hasn't found poisonous yet. Let's go for maximum stats. Let's do it. And just in case for some reason picks up a swipe, because he's at tier 6 now. He could pick up a 6 damage swiper. Let's get our Kangor's Apprentice to the left of the gas coiler. And so at this point, I'm feeling about as cocky as I possibly could. Let's lead with the zap again. Let's see how this goes as our Cold Crumber goes up to 80-80. And I breathe a massive sigh of relief, seeing that Edwin has still not hit the Divine Shield Poisonous. And I got quite lucky in the end game of this lobby. I really did. That is not lost on me. But there was definitely a point in this game where, had I just blindly leveled up, I would have died of death very early on. It was looking like an 8th or a 7th place finish, but I decided to just go for that 4th place, not level up, grab the most powerful minions at tier 3 that I could, and it was just enough not to die, to survive enough to find the lucky turns later on in the game. And so there you have it. There's a good example, I think, of when you shouldn't tavern up blindly just to try and keep pace with your opponents. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for more content from me and the Angry Chicken Hearthstone podcast. See you next time.